that song was the first song I ever played, because I was obsessed with that song when it came out, and it was the first song I ever played in my first car.
Oh really?
I thought you were gonna. I legit thought you were gonna say that's his first song you had sex to.
Oh God, no! Oh God, no. I don't be listening to music when I be having sex.
Look, she said, "I am the music." Okay,
I am the music. Okay. I want to hear all the sounds.
I want to clap. These cheeks began to clapping, and that's just what they'll do.
Please don't stop the music.
Baby.
Hey community, here's what's brewing today.
It's too white for me.
Storm casting.
And oh my glory hole. So get your cups ready for Minortea Report. Hey, welcome to Minortea Report and happy MLK Day. It's Auntie Corell.
It's Auntie Dewan.
And it's Auntie Jarrell. Hey. We celebrating the dream today. The dream.
Period.
Okay?
All day, every day.
And that's the only thing we celebrating today. And this household.
There's something else? There's something else today?
Nope, don't know her.
Didn't think so.
Yeah.
Didn't think so. Vacay day.
Vacay day. Look.
That. How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing good. We're doing good. It's a Tuesday, just it's so crazy. Like, I know we talked about it last week, but again, I'm just like so excited to see y'all heifers. Like,
yes.
I didn't get enough last week.
And we recorded 2 hours last week. We did all the Drag Race and the Golden Globes and the episode.
It was a little bit like a throwback to like one of the our first years of recording. We had them extra long episodes. Mm-hmm. the kind of episodes where you could listen when you were at the Cedar Point line or for one of the roller coasters, and it'll keep you entertained from the time you step in the line to the time you get on the roller coaster.
You didn't get the fast pass,
baby. 1,000%. Because I literally was texting y'all today. I was like, I was like, Corell, did you see the divot I was talking about while you was rewatching the video?
I was like, oh my God. I was like, my friend hyping me up. I'll take it. That's funny. But the sad thing now, kind of on that, none of my clothes fit right now. Like, and I don't want to buy any new. I know, right? But I told myself,
withering wing, okay?
Bippity boppity boop.
But I was like, I put on a pair of jeans. Because I was in my my Slack era for 2024. And I was like, okay, let me put on some jeans. I was like, damn, I'm going to have to buy some new jeans. This ain't even cool.
She didn't have to jump to put jeans on? Damn.
So didn't, baby. That was falling off. I was like, damn, I'm losing my butt a little bit. I told Corey that tonight. I was like, my butt getting a little slimmer. I don't like that.
Yeah.
He's like, no, baby, it's still there. I was like, no, it ain't.
No, it ain't. You don't understand.
Not the way
you don't
understand. Not the way it used to.
Not the way I'm used to. I was like, damn. Ain't that a bitch?
But you know what? You got some nerve because I said the same thing about my ass getting swollen. You were like, we just saw you the other day. No, it ain't. It's still there.
But baby, no, it ain't.
But you understand. Welcome, baby. Welcome, girl.
When you get mistaken for Auntie Shar from behind, that's when you know.
Damn.
You've been going too far.
Going too far. Going too far.
Baby, because we got Brazil coming up in a hella couple of weeks, and these little Debbies,
are you gonna wear a Speedo or you wear because you normally you kind of go back and forth, but usually you kind of have the almost like the I don't know
the trunks,
the
like
trunks,
kind
of shorter trunks,
briefs, yeah,
but,
yeah.
I'll have like a Speedo brief.
I'll have a couple of things, yeah. I'm not like. Wearing lingerie out on the beach, like some of y'all out there, so.
And some of us here, Look.
That's what I meant.
Me.
Y'all.
Right. He's like, y'all.
And do.
I know we got the different levels because Drell's is definitely like the skimpiest.
Baby.
Then me and then Dewan.
Yeah. But my little swimwear will be cute. It'll be appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
I don't be, you know, and the listeners know. I mean, the community know. Like, I don't be posting a whole bunch of thirst traps on my IG. Everyone, I think I have maybe 2.
You got to catch him. You got to know when he do it. He do it, but you got to catch him.
She said, "I'm an experience." She said, "I am an experience." Okay, you're not about to catch me for free outside. You're gonna experience all this chocolateness.
Yeah, he might do 1 a quarter. You got to catch it though. You got, Dewan found himself today. Go ahead, boo.
You want to see something? You got to DM me, but I'm not about to be putting my shit all the way out there on the.
That was an invitation, y'all.
Right, you about to get them DMs, honey.
Look, catch it.
See, if you got to spell it out for them.
Hey, I just want to make sure people get their blessing. I just want to make people, you know, it's MLK Day. I want to make sure people are getting what the people, you know, want, you know. And that happened to
He said,
be
I
you.
had a dream. I see him some things in my DMs. I know that's right.
Okay, look.
And if you're gonna throw him over there, throw me a couple months later. You know, I'll look.
Exactly. Yeah, I think at one point I posted one carousel, like a group of pictures, and one of the pictures was like like it's showing just a little bit of skin. It was tasteful or whatever. And boy, that shit got like clocked like nobody's business. I mean, never see you out there showing your.
He said he's trying to put it on page 9.
Look, okay. They never make it to the end. You know, they get by the time they get to the 6th photo, they be like, "I'm done." But she was like, "The very last one."
I'm gonna put it over here.
I'm gonna make you wait.
Every once in a while, he'll put it like in a story. He might have like a little story moment or something. Yeah. But it's always like.
It's like a 3-second story. It's one of them short ass stories too. Okay.
It'll be like the scenery, but then you'll see that he has a Speedo on. And that's it. You'll be like, okay, we got you, Dawn. We got it, boo.
You know.
I love it. I love it.
A little taste, that's all.
Hey, just a little.
For it.
You know.
Here
a little more.
You know, she work in HR, and that profile is public. So
you know that's right. You know that's right.
You know, we gotta make sure that we're maintaining the affordability to go on these to be able to go on these vacations and wear these Speedos out here and
that's right. That's a whole word. No, that's why. Yeah. Anyway, we'll stop. We were laughing though when we were hopping on because we were talking about because Gerard hopped on. He's like, just one of those days, and I was mentioning that was the first song that I played in my car. Like at 16 years old, very first song I ever played, but they thought I was going to say that's the very first song I had sex to. And I think we talked about, that's what y'all thought. But, and this was not on the list, but I'm about to tell on myself. But I think we mentioned how like I don't like listening to music while having sex because then my brain just goes to the music and I'm not in the moment and all this stuff. But there are, I had told these two, there are moments where music has been played and they're stuck in my brain because there's certain songs and it literally teleports me back to that moment. And the one that like instantly came to my mind that made me laugh, and it's about to be TMI. So, Mom, the fast forward, like, because my mom still be listening to the episode. I'm like, oh Jesus,
mine too.
But in the Mishawaka days, the Waka days, God, it's like the MapQuest Dick days. There was this guy that had a glory hole set up.
Look, hey, you was talking about me holding out. Hold on, I got yelled out for holding out.
She's been a freak since day one. Y'all other hoes had to ease into it. This bitch.
Look, go get your nasty pig hat.
One.
Go get your nasty pig hat. Put it back on and tell the story.
He would have the same playlist every time. So I went like 2 or 3 times.
Every time.
That's why I'm telling on myself. And it was always Usher's Oh My God. And then it would go into Lady Gaga's Born This Way. And every time, to this day, every time I hear those songs, it teleports me back. Because I remember just thinking, this is so awkward.
And she's like,
right. Well, I ain't sucking, they sucking.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it was his glory. He was trying to suck me. Well, not even trying, he did.
You know, it makes sense because those are songs you got to sing with your mouth open.
Oops,
so,
there we go.
You know.
Oh my gosh. So the second you said it,
that's the
hopped
episode
in my
opener.
head. There we go. Oh my gosh. Glory hole. Yeah. So that's why I start cracking to myself. And it's literally to this day. And so a couple years ago, it was in this house, like the Lady Gaga Born This Way came on for some reason. And that it popped in my head. And I was like, Corey, I don't think I've ever told you this story. He's like, oh my God, Carell. I was like, map quiz. That was like the Adam for Adam days.
What a time to be.
What a time
alive.
to get your dick sucked.
And that too.
Oh my God, damn. So comedian, I'm just telling so much about myself. Oh well, it is what it is. I'm a grown up. So anyway, what's on the list there?
Oh my God.
Oh gosh, go back to MLK Day. This is what I was going to start off originally with. Was so obviously MLK, massive icon, and to know that he got killed at 39, which is still wild to me in my brain to think how much he did. But in today's age, do you think, and then B, do we have someone that could be almost that, to that level, a pillar in the black community that everyone is on one accord with? Or is it too hard nowadays to have something like that again? Or maybe we do have something like that and it's just in a different vein. What do you guys think?
Michelle Obama is the closest that I can get to as someone who, for the community, almost close to a whole, right? I will say, I think, in today's world, black is no longer a monolith, that it's harder, I want to say, to, and it never was then either, but it's it's encouraged to be even more unique these days, right? And to like other things that are outside of the culture as well, too. So I think it may be just a little bit harder today than maybe back then. But at the same time, they didn't have social media the way that we have social media. So we have it a little bit easier to connect with each other. You had to literally call somebody in order to hear somebody. Or you sent them a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
What do you mean a text message? What do you mean a DM? It wasn't none of that. You know?
Yeah.
So
direct mail.
Direct
in about 2 weeks.
Okay. Luckily, if that.
Yeah.
So, I think this, the times are a little bit different. So I think they had it was harder, a little bit harder then. I would love to see what MLK would have been like, what then would have like with technology today. What if they could have used social media, to connect and to protest and, to march and to come together, right? It would have been, I think, honestly, way different today if they had the resources we have today. I think we fumbled the ball.
We had the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and stuff. So that's probably at least maybe in our generation the closest that we were all on one accord.
Yes.
To get out there, but even then it wasn't maybe one. I guess the pillar was George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. So maybe and unfortunately it was a death.
Black Lives Matter.
But so someone, a pillar head. I was just it popped in my head today and I was just I don't know if it would work the same today, even if we would put all our trust in a figurehead like that again.
I think it's just because of the divide of social media. The divide of social media. I think it's just, that's why I said I think we fumbled the ball with the good that could come from social media. I think so much bad has come from social media that there has created a divide. I mean, you go into comments, on hot topics, and you got people cussing people out, talking about pull up. You mean fuck you, your mama, your daddy, your whole bloodline, all the rest of the stuff. You ain't shit. People out there are, internet fighting. Now back in the day, you weren't saying that shit to nobody's face if you weren't ready to throw down, right? And I think because of the fact that these keyboard warriors think they can say whatever they want to without consequences. I think that has really pushed the divide that much further because they ain't getting no consequences. Ain't nobody beating that ass anymore, So bring back the ass beating. That's what I want to say. That's
I
my
think it's
dream.
really interesting that we don't have a lot of really prolific and clean male male figures that are doing the work. I mean, yeah, we have Obama, but he's kind of like
He did his work.
He did his thing.
He tired.
Yeah.
He did
Right.
his thing, and
Look.
got the Clooney's to show for it.
do.
And so when I look at and think about like the political and the social landscape, like who are those individuals that are really pushing for things like equality and really trying to be a voice for other people, because it's people got not in trouble, but a lot of celebrities have shied away from, I don't want to be a role model. So you have certain people that will step into that lane. I mean, Oprah steps into that lane in a very large way. You have some people that are stepping into that space, but you don't really have a lot. And when I think about anybody that's really politically visible and kind of doing that work, I think of somebody like, what is her name? Justine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine, thank you. Jasmine Crockett. Who every time you see a clip about her, she's speaking facts. She's on them necks. She don't hold back, and she's actually in a legislative body, and physically doing the work. I think because we enjoy a lot of freedoms and some equity in some spaces, in a lot of spaces that we didn't have before, just to Terrell's point, there just isn't that strong desire for a unified front, because for the most part you can break through your circumstances through a lot of different avenues, whereas back in the day you weren't. It was a struggle. It was a struggle, and like now it's a different animal.
And quite frankly, maybe that's even part of his dream, was to have the option to do or not to do, quite frankly. Obviously we all picture like, oh, we would and we wouldn't. But we have the luxury, the privilege.
It's a privilege.
For the most part, to be like, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out today. Where they didn't have that as much of an option then, to sit out because of their fight. We have that now. So yeah, and like the one that kind of comes to mind too, and then maybe a different lane too, of those like celebrities that kind of put themselves out there, is like a Killer Mike or something like that, But even then, it's maybe not to the magnitude of the MLK, right. Nor maybe he probably doesn't even want it to that magnitude either, because we saw what happened. But yeah, it was just curious, and maybe the pillar head is the collective of a social media where it's just like little pockets now that we're able to obtain, where we don't necessarily need a singular figurehead, that we could hear someone like a Charlamagne the God, they could hear someone like your aunties on Minortea Report, they could hear someone like an Oprah, they could hear someone like a Gail, and that's how it kind of comes to the broader collective, instead of saying I need to look to an MLK, I need to look to a Malcolm X, and that be it. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting. But I mean, again, I'm extremely grateful for someone that young to take that on at that time, because he did that shit for like a good 13, 15 years before he was killed.
Imagine
and
having
so to
the
think
vision.
in your mid-20s doing that shit.
Yeah.
Imagine having the vision, the mission, the passion, the desire, like everything within his being was in advocacy for equality and for respect of the people that he's representing. And he was one of many voices. I mean, he wasn't the only voice. I mean, you had he was the voice of passive resistance, right? But then you also had the opposite end of the spectrum with Malcolm X, which is more of
the Henny spirit,
active resistance. We about these hands, we about these rifles, we about to protect our rights, we about our own, like that kind of thing. So, and there was a lot of others that were that were in between. It's just I'm hopeful, but less optimistic about what will happen in the next, call it 4 to 5 years, the next 10 years. I'm less optimistic about progress happening, and more expecting that there will just be more and more limitations. I'll say limitations of rights that a lot of us have enjoyed. We're already, and take the race piece out of it. There's already legislation that's happening in, the Great Plains states, which are predominantly white, that are, redefining creating the definition of what a woman is to mitigate things like trans rights and gay marriage and things. So these things are already happening, but they're happening on the fringe. And so as a broader Black community, there's a larger part of our community that's not with that. And so it's easier for them to capitalize on that kind of legislation, because it's a outlier situation that doesn't affect what some perceive as us until it creeps up on our doors. And there's the critical few become the critical many that become completely oppressed, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of interesting. Like, I thought I knew pretty much everything about MLK at this point, or at least the big stuff. But I was trying to search out there if there was anything that I didn't know about him or hadn't heard. And there was a couple things out here that I was like, oh, I did not know that. He was a Trekkie. He loved him some Star Trek. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. I was like, okay, come on with the Black nerd MLK. Hey, And he said, Dr. King said, I am your best and greatest fan, speaking to Lieutenant Uhura. Is that how you say it? Was it Uhura or something?
Uhura.
Mm-hmm. Her, the Black girl. But he said, I'm your best, greatest fan, and my family are your greatest fans. As a matter of fact, this is the only show that my wife, Coretta, and I will allow our little children to stay up late to watch, because it's past their bedtime. So he loved him some Star Trek.
There was that show.
And then he was...
Yeah, that show came on, like, super late, like 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it was like one of the first shows that you actually saw someone in a predominant role that was Black like that. Mm-hmm. So, and then he was a pool shark. Like, he loves him some pool, so he was in them halls beating that ass on the pool table. He's like, I ain't violent out there, but I'm violent on these pool tables.
Rack him up, let's go.
Right. And then he was also in this, I knew, but he was like one of the youngest ever at that time, Nobel Peace Prize winners. And so just all that work that he did, to be that young again. Like, the perspective now to be 40, about to be 41, to know to be murdered at 39, but it's just the perspective of things as I get older is just crazy. So wild to me.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like, and I agree, because in my mind I'm like, I still feel like
that nigga was 98.
Thank you. I think I had like a ways to go. I'm like, I don't think he like in his 50s and his 60s doing this shit, but damn, 30 fucking 9. Yeah, like, woof. The time will check you. Time will check you and remind you that, like, you blink and it's gonna go by.
What is you doing? What is we doing out in these streets?
Look, nothing, because I'm at home. I'm inside.
Period. So again, community, happy MLK Jr. Day. I know a lot of folks have it off. I know sometimes some folks, maybe if you're retail and things like that, you might not, and gotta, bills still gotta get paid. But if you're off, a lot of folks do service things. But at least, stay educated and up to speed on some things. Don't let the day go in vain, because again, his dream is not completely fulfilled.
Yeah.
And for a lot of folks, it's still a nightmare. So anyway, let's see here. Another major thing maybe yesterday, TikTok, it don't stop. Well, baby, it do stop, because if we see by the end of this weekend, obviously we got about a few more days when we're recording this, but TikTok might be gone. And it's interesting to see folks already kind of migrating to another Chinese app called Red Note. I'm like, okay, they trying to ban one because they didn't want the China, having all the data and all that stuff, and then just another one pop up. So it's just like, it is what it is. Like, come on now. But are y'all? I know y'all weren't on TikTok that heavy. So are y'all sad? You don't care one way or the other?
My old head ass now is like, bye, girl. Like, I just feel bad for like my friends. One of my besties, she works for TikTok. You know, so I think about my friends that work for TikTok. I think about all the small businesses that have grown and the people that have made their living off of TikTok. Yeah. And I think about just how many lives are going to change because of this. So that's the only thing. But the app itself,
you good?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think. I don't know. I think that the age of social media apps is like evolving or devolving, and I would be quite surprised if in the next, let's call it, 5 to 10 years, that the apps that kind of like our gold standard for what is occupying our time right now will continue to be even in existence. But I do think that this issue with TikTok is going to significantly hurt a lot of small businesses that get a lot of revenue and a lot of exposure of their brands that otherwise wouldn't get that level of exposure. And it's unfortunate. But as we learn, things always change. And so, when one door opens, another, when one door closes, another one opens. So who knows what the next frontier of engagement and whatever is going to look like.
We're gonna be talking like TikTok, like MySpace. Be like, damn, remember TikTok?
Or Vine. You remember Vine back in the day?
Remember
like,
Vine? Damn.
Tumblr.
Baby.
Look,
the OG porn site.
Yeah,
Damn.
Man.
OG porn site.
R.I.P.
Yep. And obviously with all the stuff that we're starting to see with like Meta and, like a lot of other companies that are rolling back a lot of their DEI policies, but more specifically, when we talk about social media platforms, it's, to me, it's just a signal that this is just going to go down. I mean, if you take Twitter as a model and you saw what happened with Twitter, ain't nobody gonna be on them
white
shits.
Man be fucking shit up left and right.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I say it again, he trashed for that. He absolutely trashed for it. So ain't got no spine.
Could you I couldn't even imagine right now being a gay person, being in a minority at Meta. Like the struggle that you have, especially as like gay, because like there's and I don't know how true it is, but at least the perception and what's trending out there is calling like the LGBTQIA plus community mentally ill. Mm-hmm. But I ain't mentally ill enough to be coming up with this coding that you need on at this job and all the stuff that you need from me day to day at this job. I ain't that mentally ill. Well, can I take a mentally ill day off then? And the struggle potentially that creates for you on a personal level of saying, damn, these bills got to get paid. Damn, it's a good ass paying the job. However, clearly my question. CEO does not value me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
And what do you do? What do you do? Like, do you continue to just work there and collect that check? I know a lot of people would and do. Or do you say, okay, well then, I might not be in a DEI role, but maybe I'm in finance or I'm in, engineering or I'm in, legal or marketing or whatever. And I'm saying, I'm just going to take my talents elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that I could work for an organization that was not aligned with my own personal values, to be honest with you. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me because I'm not going to work to fight. I'm not. I ain't gonna fight with you because I'm gonna fight you. That's like
that explains why I work where I work.
I practice some personal care for yourself. Because who? And that is a privilege. I will acknowledge that. Yes. It is a privilege to be in a space where you can say, okay, well, I know that professionally I have options and I don't have to take a job regardless of what the pay could be like or whatever because it doesn't align with whatever. And, even now as when recruiters reach out to me, or, like somebody reaches out and says, hey, we have this role, we think your background's great, we would love to talk to you. The first thing I do is I look at their shit.
1,000%.
What do y'all stand for? Because if you have been in the news about some messed up stuff, if you are an organization that is particularly known for doing some shady business, you like, if it ain't right, let me put it this way: if it's too white, it's too white for me. So, no, I'll pass. I'll pass on that.
It's a pass for me, dog. Because I'd be like, especially on like such a public level. Like, he's on like the Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah. He put out a statement. To go on a press tour, and you're that company's CEO doing that. That's wild. Yeah. That is so
to
wild.
Me says that there is more short-term. There's more short-term gains, financial gains that they'll get from things like tax cuts and other incentives and things of that nature for aligning themselves with, these people that will eventually be in power for the next 4 years. That far outshadows even the advertising revenue that they're getting. Yeah. Because the reality of it is, and I'm not an insider in this stuff, but I have to imagine that they probably make more money off of the data that they're collecting than the actual business, or close to what they're making from an actual business perspective in terms of what they're selling with their, with the advertising and with the, the boosting of, your whatever, like all these kinds of things. So to me, it's like a short-term grab in what's not going to be a long-term gain. I can't imagine that, if the political system changes in 4 years to Democratic, liberal, whatever, and the political climate is different, that you're going to be like, oh, okay, well, now we're rolling this stuff back in there, but you done lost all these people. Because I don't know about you, but like, I'm a Leo. When it's a wrap, it's a wrap. There ain't no conversation. I ain't going back. There ain't no.
It's a wrap.
I don't even want to see you. I don't need no updates. It's gone. So
you said the app said update. You said no.
No, absolutely not. But like,
and the hard thing too is like Meta. I mean, even if you get off social media, billions of people use WhatsApp every day.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's the form of communication for what, so it's just so, and they know this, but it's just so entangled in our all day, every day of communication at this point. And like you said, they've run the numbers, so they know what they're doing, but it sucks as an individual that you call them mentally ill. Your CEO sitting there putting y'all on blast saying you're mentally ill. What the fuck? Like, so that would be hard for me. That would be a tough one. And obviously, again, this is speaking from a seat of privilege where it's like I might have more options to be able to potentially find another job, hopefully, God willing. But it's just like, woof. But yeah, anyway.
I think the big question is, what would it take you and y'all as listeners, what would it take us to quit the apps? Because we see it happening right now. Yeah. But the outrage ain't outrageous enough where people are like, okay, you know what, delete. Now, people may have gotten rid of a lot of people got rid of like their Facebook and whatnot, and I barely go on Facebook anyway. So I'm like, but I'm like, that Instagram, like,
it's tough. Especially now TikTok on. I'm like, damn, ho. We're all fit to go. And even though I like Blue Sky, it ain't big enough yet.
Not yet. So, yeah. I mean, it's getting there, but like.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
the porn is starting to get good finally.
It does. And if they could somehow do like a photo wall similar to IG, oh, it's a wrap. I'll leave IG in a heartbeat. Because really, for me, I'm not into like the chitter chatter every single day. Like, I'll get into it with some things, but not like every single day, all day. Yeah. So the Twitter was never big for me. The Blue Sky, because it's more conversational. Like, I want to talk to y'all. Like, what the fuck
I'll talk to you on the podcast. Listen to me on the podcast.
But
and then also, literally the night we were recording last week, after we hung up, that's when we saw LA was just like literally on fire. All our LA friends, family, community members, hang in there. I have no words. Like, we've been trying to share, like in our stories, just like ways to either how to donate, or if you need donations, where to go, where to get a meal, where to get some Wi-Fi. Wow. Wow. I have no words of condolences. Like, it's just like, we're thinking of you, but I know that's not good enough. So it's just like,
beyond the devastation, it's it's also the greed of the insurance companies that chose to disclaim prior to and in the midst of, and how they are allowed to do that is absolutely beyond me. It's beyond me. And that to me is just indicative of the kind of world that we live in. You know, this not just consumer, but this capitalist first, you know, I'm going to make this money over, you know, even living up to the obligations of why you giving me the money in the first place. That to me, I just don't understand. And why there isn't more outrage
at the end of the day.
over that.
A company is made of people. So someone made this decision. That's like, it's so easy to get caught up in like, oh, State Farm, da-da-da. These companies are made of Joe Schmoes like you and I that made this decision.
Yeah,
That's what fucks me up in the brain. That's just like, someone woke up in the morning, took a shower, drove their ass to work, and said, this is what we're going to do because it's going to make us more money.
Yep. Thank you for the checks
Even
you
though it
gave me
fucks over
for
my
the last
neighbor.
35, 45 years. Thank you for all them checks. Glad nothing didn't happen, but now that something's going down, we ain't taking your money anymore because we ain't trying to pay y'all.
Yeah.
Like, that is crazy.
Craziness. It's so infuriating. So infuriating. So community, like, if there's anything that we can share that, like, is just information you're getting if you're in that LA area, or even if you're not, you just have privy and insight to that, let us know. We'll continue to share as much as we can.
And shout out to Canada and Mexico, who have both, despite all the shit that has been said about them by the incoming regime, they have offered up their services. They showed up. They have been there. They've lent planes and firefighters and boots on the ground to help with this particular effort. I mean, shout out to them.
Isn't that crazy? So many countries have come still to the aid of the U.S. despite how selfish we are as a country and how ignorant we are as a country. Like, that's the decency of humanity that
it is
we just don't show nobody else. I'd be like, like the Leo energy, I'm like, fuck the U.S.
Burn, baby, burn.
Look.
And yet they're like, you know what? They need some help. Let's go help. That's... Oof.
Yeah.
So thank you for showing us decency, because I know good and well we haven't showed decency to the world often at all. And by we ain't talking about us.
Thank you. Look, I was waiting for you to finish. I was going to say, well, look, don't put my name on that. Don't put my name on that group project, okay? I did not contribute to that group project.
Right, you know who the we talking about. It ain't us. But and with that said, we heartbreak even more that the Beyonce announcement was made that she's postponing, which was the right move, was the right call. Even as much as we want some more Beyonce stuff, that's the right move. And to see her donations, and a lot of folks donating their time and money and energy, but it's just like, no, there's bigger issues right now than a new Beyonce tour, a new Beyonce music, new Beyonce anything. We'll get that. But so she could have maybe put it out maybe the day before at like noon.
I mean, things are already on fire at that point.
Yeah,
like,
it's like you could have done it last week. But I digress. So and then
she probably had to run that through the PR team, the marketing team, the legal team, all that, to make sure the statement was concise enough so that
that they be on it. That was proof number 97.
That part.
But yeah, we didn't talk about too much. But are there any new inklings what you think this is going to be?
I
Have
honestly,
you seen a lot of
I'm
social
hopeful.
stuff now this week?
I know that there's like the regular smegular, like, you know, people are speculating it's going to be like a tour. It's going to be, you know, the announcement of Act 3 and, you know, the rock album and da-da-da-da. I hope it's something completely left field. Like, I would love for it to be a low-key, like, they're dropping a Destiny's Child, like single that's going to be the intro to an EP. And the fact that nobody else was talking about it, to me, would be like, that would be the best thing ever, because that's beyond just what we're wanting from her. Yeah. That would have been, and
take me out.
Baby, that would be the summer that we wanted, that we've been wanting for a long time. So that's what I would hope, but it's probably not going to be that. Because, you know, I'm rarely ever right when it comes to these kind of things. So that's what I want.
But that's what your heart wants.
Right, exactly.
That's what the heart wants.
Little tink tink.
Yeah. You know, I feel what's going to happen with any Destiny's Child stuff, it's going to be like, because I think Act 3 is still going to just be Beyonce, because she said she got 3 acts. But what would really take me out is right when we think she's just done, she'll be like, damn, okay, Beyonce done did this the last 6 years, all these acts. And then they drop a Destiny's Child album on like a Friday, like she did the Beyonce Self-Child album. That would destroy us all. All edges would be lost. All money gone. Because we're like, damn, she don't drop another project, and it's all of them.
Can you imagine?
Take us all out.
A DC 25, DC 26, like. Just a EP, just a couple of songs. They don't even have to be a whole.
Just give us like 5, 6 songs.
Just about 8, 9 songs. Just a couple of.
And, you know, a couple videos. And a couple 8 counts. And a couple. It'd be just too much.
Honestly, I wouldn't be ready. Honestly, I would not be.
I wouldn't be either.
I wouldn't be ready one bit.
No,
yeah.
No. Just the thought of it.
That would just be
racing right now.
That would be from so left field. Because we were not expecting it, but we want it. And baby,
I mean, Act 3. Now that you talk about like Act 3, 3 of them. I mean,
said that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because I think I said it. That might have been what I said to Michelle. I was like, Act 3 to 3, y'all blinking.
Can you fucking imagine?
No.
If that third album was the 3 of them getting back together, and then they dropped the tour. Take all my money.
I don't fight, but I would fight if I wasn't able to get some tickets.
Baby,
that would make me fight.
I'm going minimum 3 times to that tour.
Minimum
3 times to that tour.
I only went once this last one, but this if that happens, look, I'm doing at least one
somewhere
overseas, and then
2 here, because we're gonna have to do the Houston, because we're doing the Houston one. 1000%. So we'll do Houston,
Atlanta.
You
gotta do Atlanta.
Look, Atlanta.
It's always gonna be Atlanta.
Can you imagine how they would be stomping on those necks? These beautiful, buxom, mature songstresses, and singing in harmony in the apex of their vocal range. And their voices have just gotten
richer over time.
Yes.
Too. Oh, I can't take it.
Yes.
You know what? So here's my thing: is I've had to stop trying to predict what Act 3 is, because I've realized that I only damage my mental health the more I think about it. Like the way I spend myself in circles, and then I'm going down a rabbit hole, and then at least another rabbit hole, and then I'm sitting there spent like I don't know anything. Like
I know the conspiracy theories alone, I've spent hours looking at each one. And I'm like, oh, that is a good point. Ooh, you're right on that. Ooh, I thought that too. Ooh. ooh. Yeah, it's a lot. So we ready, Beyonce, on your timing. And again, it was the right call.
Yeah.
But we ready. We get it. Yeah. You know what? Last week, a couple things here. We just kind of going down the pipeline here. Dewan, you watched Luther. Jarrell, did you watch it?
I did not watch it. No.
You haven't watched it? Was it good, Dewan?
It was everything. It was everything that I wanted it to be honest with you. Yeah. I texted y'all. I was just like, not me over here boo-hooing on my sofa watching the end credits of like, keep going. It's just, It's honestly, it's a shame that this documentary didn't get more visibility, because for me, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but like, I found out about it by happenstance, not because I saw like something through social media or whatever. You know, I was just scrolling through YouTube TV, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, what is this? And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna save this for later, and I'm gonna watch it. And then we got on the podcast, and then we were talking about it. It was like, man, like, people need to see this.
It's so good.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until you said it last week either.
Okay.
But like, I also, and I was talking to another friend about this though too. Like, do y'all think Luther is a black celebrity, like in the community, everybody know Luther, or is he someone like a Beyonce that the world knows about Luther? Because
they touch on that.
Yeah, because I think that's probably another reason why we're not hearing about it, because it's just for us, and they're like,
Yeah.
The problem of it is it's just for us, but it's on CNN. So, like, make it make sense. It would be a different story if it was on.
It was on BET.
If it was on BET. If it was on the WB. Right. But the fact that it was on CNN, like, who watches fucking CNN?
Yeah,
sorry, y'all, but like, not for programming, not for scripted and or documentary
especially something
style.
that good.
Yeah. So that to me,
but
was
they touch on that though. They touch on that because his whole career, he wanted to be more popular. Mm-hmm. He wanted to be on more of the Hot 100 charts and not just the black charts and things like that. And so that's what made it even sad, and maybe spilling too much of the documentary, but it's like how his life ended, the stroke and everything. He finally gets that number one.
Right.
And he has a stroke and dies. Yeah. And you're like, fucking hey, man.
He went out on top.
Yeah.
He went out on top though.
But it was well done. It was well done.
I'm still trying to figure out how CNN got this though, because Netflix, y'all couldn't pull up with some cash. Seriously, because
that's
this
where the niggas
documentary
at.
had to been, but I'm just saying, like,
that's a word.
But we're doing our due diligence by getting the information out there. So, community, if you have not, even if you're not a Luther music fan or don't know much about his musicality, watch the documentary to show some respect. And it's about to be Black History Month, and it's already Martin Luther King Day. So this is your opportunity to show some screen time love for some of an icon within our community.
Right, I know that's right.
And you might even be inspired to download a couple of songs or albums.
Baby, I went through a Luther whole pipeline this week.
Dude, I made a whole playlist. I'm just like, you know what? I forgot about this song. I forgot about that song. Like, and all the songs that he sang in the background, I added to that list as well.
Yup. I went through a whole day of this Luther shit. But then another album that Jarrell was like, oh, we should talk about this, is over break while we were on hiatus. That Flow album came out. And what are your thoughts on that Flow album, Jarrell?
Baby, it's good. Honestly,
it's pretty good.
It's so good. And it just reminds me of like the girl groups from like the early 2000s. Like the harmonies are really good. And it makes me really sad that they are not, and they are from the UK too, and they're not getting nearly any of the recognition over there like they are over here in the U.S. And that just goes to show that, again,
racism is alive and well.
The color of your skin matters no matter where you at.
Well, I mean, they were the originators. They colonized this whole damn world.
Right?
And they ain't even got any African Americans over there. They got real blacks.
Baby, a word.
Not these hybrids. Not these hybrids over here in the United States of America with 3Ks.
They got the real. I'm so through with you.
I cannot with you.
I was nice last week. I got to get a couple in this episode.
He said, "I'm back, baby." Oh man, but no, like it's a pretty solid album. Is it my favorite? No, but it was cool to kind of have some of that nostalgic vibe. However, the only critique I'll have is like the 2000s did it better. So like I felt like they didn't add anything to it. They did a very good job, and the harmonies are amazing for sure. They could have pushed it a little more for me because it was almost like a carbon copy instead of like we're inspired by.
Do you think
I wouldn't have wanted anything more though, because then I would have felt like then they were trying too much. You know how like there's some things that like you stick to the script. Like when they do remakes of movies and stuff like that, I'm like, no, it was already a good movie. You already have the formula. You didn't need to deviate from the formula, right? I feel like some things you have to stick to the formula if you're going to pay tribute to it. Some shit don't deserve extra stank on it. It was just fine. So for me, I think like you said, because they did it so good back then, I wanted the nostalgia of then. I didn't need 2025. I wanted that feeling of driving in the car, my first car in 2003, like...
See, me, I was like, I better just go listen to those albums then.
No, but I mean, but I like the idea of having something a little bit newer, but still transports me there. So I'm not like listening to something old, but I'm listening to something current.
Something new.
The Weeknd does a really good job of that. Like taking inspiration from like the 80s in terms of synth pop, but doing it in a way that feels referential, but also is very rooted in its current and its now, and it is something different. And
that's what I think the piece was different for Flo. It was a carbon copy.
Yeah.
It didn't elevate it like The Weeknd where you're like, oh, okay, I could tell that you were super inspired by the 80s, but I ain't heard this kind of twist on it.
Yeah.
But it's not that it's bad, though. They did it very, very well, to like Jarrell's point. Like, it's very well done. But I guess, like, that's my heyday. Like from that, like 95 to, like, 2005.
Yeah.
Baby. Yeah. And I'm like, I just rather go listen to those albums then.
I wonder if that's a cultural
thing. It didn't add
thing.
to it.
I wonder if that's a cultural thing because
it might be.
they were over there when we were here when the shit was going down and we were making it.
It's this young generation. It's that
They love that time.
Okay, see, I'm trying to give excuses.
It's the time. They are trying to circle back. Okay, like.
And we like, damn, that's why we got like cameras on our phones, because that shit was hard as hell to go get shit developed and all that shit. No,
the way that I see kids these days, and I was telling y'all, like I see kids at concerts with disposable cameras. Like you ain't going to no damn Walgreens, so what the fuck you got it for?
That shit is whack.
You ain't going to develop it. You just wanted just to be like, look at me.
And then you got your finger all in front of the flash and make it hit the lens, and so all you see is dark in the flash. No, I'm over them days.
I wonder if this is how like our parents felt when like we were growing up and like into like some of the older shit. I remember when the pet rock made a comeback from the 70s. I remember when Blind Melon, came out with that little B song, all I can say is that my life is written, and they're singing in the fields and all that. Like, that kind of like throwback, the D-Light, the groove is in the heart, like 1970. I wonder if there was like, we had better shits when we was.
They said Kanye sampled this song. Right. I was there when this song came out.
I was getting my back blown out with some real blow.
Baby. I was at a glory hole getting my dick sucked.
I was hoping you was gonna pick that up, bitch. Oh, that's funny. Touchdown.
They said Luther.
Touchdown.
I remember when Luther was out.
Right, I was sucking his dick back in the day.
So yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I'm just sounding like a very old head right now. So you're right. You're right. But go support Flo because they are very, very talented, and they did a very good job with the album.
And who knows where their career would go? Because like the first like coming out and whatnot and diving into this space, they've got. I mean, my humble opinion, they've got the goods to actually do a nice 1,000%. Run. And it's been a minute since we've had like girl groups. It's
especially outside like K-pop.
Yeah.
Right? So
because K-pop running everything.
It could be hella fun to bring that back.
Yeah. Yeah. And then one kind of last one here in the headlines before we like kind of play this small little game to see who we choose. Pay attention because the Supreme Court is taking up additional things from the ACA, Affordable Care Act, where over time the ACA has allowed like no cost medications that comes in there, and they're challenging this bill. And the same folks that challenged abortions in Texas initially are the same ones that are doing this one. They can't stay in their fucking lane and stay out of everybody's motherfucking business, and it bothers the shit out of me. But this impacts a whole lot of people. I know the big headlines, at least for the LGBTQIA plus communities, around PrEP and things like that, no cost PrEP. But it also impacts like low dose aspirin if you need it because of certain situations, iron supplements, statins, like stuff that like is helping your health. There's over 100 medications that are on this ACA list that if it goes down because they don't like PrEP and things like that, it's taking everything down. So I know a lot of times people are like, oh, they ain't got shit to do with me. However, I guarantee you or someone you know got something on this list that's going to be taken away, and it's going to cost us more money. And so pay attention, because this is just not a gay issue. This is a everybody issue. And even if it was a gay issue, it's going to still impact your ass because the medical.
God damn it.
Like, that.
For all the goddamn marches and you know, bake sales and raising funds and doing people's hair that we done did for y'all fucking asses, y'all owe us. So get us in this gig.
Period. I ain't got shit else to say on that. Let's move on. Gigayana. So I saw this floating around the internet, and a lot of folks are starting to throw their name in the hat, in the ring. Because obviously right now we're all excited that finally we're probably going to get some X-Men in the Marvel Universe. And
which is a crossover for those people that don't know what's going on.
The whole history behind it. Like for a while, Sony owned the rights because back in the day before Marvel really blew up, it was not worth that much. So Sony had some of the rights, Disney had some of the rights, everybody had some rights. But now finally all these companies have consolidated and been bought, and now they're all into the same company again. So, you know, the last few movies Marvel has put out there, slowly but surely, you know, putting a couple X-Men in a movie and align the thing. So it sounds like some folks of old X-Men might come back, but it sounds like maybe some new folks too taking some of these roles. And one of the big ones that we talk about all the time in this podcast is Storm. And so it's going around the interwebs, folks kind of actresses putting their name in the ring and saying, that's my ideal job, my dream job. Folks saying, oh, this person would be great. And four of the names that are kind of prevalent right now is Cynthia Erivo, Dominique, you know, mother, Dominique Jackson, Janelle Monáe, and Keke Palmer. So I know y'all some stands for some Marvel folks. Or Marvel, just like comics and things like that. In your head, out of those four, or maybe even if there's someone else that you have in your head, who would you think is like the ideal Storm for like future Marvel movies?
If I got to choose of those four, which my pick isn't of those four, then it would have to be Janelle Monáe if I'm going to pick. But
interesting,
because of the body, yada.
Well, body, but also like she just had like, you also have to be able to like be tough, but also be soft in the same breath. And I think Janelle would be able to, you know, handle that tightrope.
Skirt that line.
Okay, you know, to be able to handle that. But DeWanda Wise is the one that I want. DeWanda Wise would be a fantastic Storm. And for those of you who are watching, y'all don't know who DeWanda Wise is. This is sis.
It ain't me.
Well, look.
Right, it's not DeWanda drag name.
Look, DeWanda Wise. But she's gorgeous. Look her up. She is amazing. So that's who I would go. Like, I think she would be fantastic at it, honestly. Yeah.
What are you thinking, DeWan?
I don't like any of these names. to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's
Low hanging fruit.
And no shade to these ladies. You know, they're all, you know, great in their own way. I think where there are two things for me that the casting has missed the mark across all of them. All of the casting of you know, the Storm character, the, you know, Aurora Monroe character. There is African regalness that she embodies. She was worshipped as an African goddess because of these powers and the things. And so there is a regality that she brings in the way that she carries herself and the way that she speaks and the way that she commands and in the way that she leads and in the way that she follows. And I don't think, again, no shade to the ladies that were mentioned, no shade to them. They don't embody that. Period. Could they? I don't know. I haven't seen it. And I've seen a lot of their work. The other piece of it is there is also a motherly component that Storm has. So in addition to the sheer power that she has through her mutant abilities, which are elemental, she's an Omega mutant. So one of the
highest levels that
that you could possibly be in terms of powers, because you are impacting at a molecular level. So there is power that's there, but there's also this maternal
restraint too.
Yes. Yeah. And so when I look at the list, you know, of, you know, Cynthia, Dominique, Janelle, and Kiki, you know, I think that they possess some of those characteristics, whether it's, you know, a look being very from Africa, because I think one of the things that we struggle seeing is true, like,
dark skin.
Yes,
like darker skin,
African features, traditional African features, not African features mixed in with a bunch of other stuff.
So we gotta go to England.
I mean, she gonna need an accent. If Storm gonna need an accent, you know,
right,
I don't need her to be talking English like Halle Berry. Okay, so
Halle Berry.
So, and y'all know how I already feel about Halle Berry. So
right,
yeah, we're gonna stop. We're gonna bring that to 2025.
Right.
So yeah, I just, you know, if I were to pick somebody out of this list, I would probably lean more towards a Keke Palmer. To me, it would be between Keke and Cynthia, but I think I would lean more towards Keke because I feel like who would have played her the best of actresses back in the day would have been Angela Bassett, to be honest. That even though she wasn't as dark skinned as I would have liked the character to be, in terms of what she brings, if you look at how she portrayed the Queen Mother in Black Panther,
got a whole Oscar nomination.
She could have brought it, but she's aged out of that particular character, and and so I think Keke gives me, you know, her energy.
Angela Bassett Jr.
She gives me that energy, and I feel that she could probably embody that in some kind of way. But again,
what do you think about?
You know, she'd be
like
good at.
Lupita
You know, she
Nyong'o?
would be good at. Keke would be good at. You know how Storm is always dramatically falling out the sky? Keke would be good at that. Oh,
I'm so done with
the
you.
gag is I'm falling out
Right.
the sky.
I'm done. You right though.
done with you.
But like,
right, though.
what about someone like a Lupita Nyong'o?
No, I mean, she's already in it. She's already in Marvel. She already has more of a
she's already
territory,
in
so
Black
she
Panther,
won't
so
be able to.
Who was
Yeah,
the
she won't be
actress
able
that
to.
played? Remember that scene where the one guy in Black Panther and he was like, "You bald-headed demon." Who was the bald-headed demon? That girl.
Oh.
She was the general of the Amazon.
They're not going to
forget her name right now.
Yeah, they're not.
I know,
going
but
to,
I'm just saying she could
would've been
do
Yeah,
it.
she would.
Based on how she performed and how she showed up and the way that she spoke, and like she could do it. Not that I'm saying that, you know, 'cause she's already obligated, but that
You know
kind of
who
energy.
has the look, and I just don't know if she acts at all because I don't think she's been in anything. What's that? Anouk Yai?
Oh yes, bitch. Oh, she's funny.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if she's like an actress, but at least the look,
1,000%.
like that would be fire.
1,000%. Yeah. She would have been.
But,
she's gorgeous, bitch. Ah,
she is stunning.
Like,
it's like stupid.
It honestly it is. And some of the stuff I look at her, I'm like, you're not wearing anything crazy, but the way you are, but the way it's on you.
8.
Look. Cause let somebody else wear it. I'll be like, oh, girl, what the fuck you wearing? That ain't it.
That's right.
Michaela Coel.
Ooh,
She
I'm
could
not
do
mad
it.
at that.
She could do it. I was trying. Me and names. I couldn't remember, so I googled black actresses, dark skin, and she was all the way down in the list. Her.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah.
Michaela Coel.
Yeah. She was my second. She's my second.
Yeah.
She's my second, and she's not in Marvel
I'm not
yet.
mad at that.
Yeah, she would.
She would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because she has the acting chops and she has the looks.
1,000.
She has the look too.
And the height and the like she could really carry that role, to be honest with you.
Nope, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Ooh, let's put that one out there. That's actually a very good choice.
Yeah.
And what would be kind of hot is if instead of they doing like the long flowy hair, they just gave her like a buzz cut that was just white. Make her modern.
Ooh, giving them a Cynthia
Little
Erivo.
modern, little modern take. Little modern take.
I feel
I'm
like
very
it's
much
so...
skip. You already got the script. Don't deviate. Don't deviate. This is not the time for experimentation.
The hard thing.
Leave that for the white people. Storm is our one. She is our one.
This is from Jarrell.
Experiment on the white people.
This is from Jarrell, who says I was Storm for Halloween.
But
and guess what? And I stayed true to Storm for Halloween.
But the Marvel wigs, the history of the Marvel wigs haven't been good. So they need to hire someone.
She's gonna have to have
they
the
need to
right
hire the
set of
people that did the
bundles.
Wicked box braids.
Yes.
Because even the white wigs that they've had
But
throughout the history of Marvel have not been that good.
Ryan Coogler, right? Ryan Coogler is the director of Black Panther.
Yeah.
If they work with the same people that he worked with to style Storm, they're gonna be all right.
Yeah,
they're gonna be all right.
Let some white people get no Storm no wig.
She needs a black hairdresser, a black stylist.
Yep.
Okay, not someone fucking a black person or married to a black person. A black person.
Yeah.
We don't want adjacent.
No. No.
Yeah, because
I low key.
Because the wig is going to make him break it.
1,000%.
It's going to take us in or out of that character
all the way
real
out.
quick.
All the way out.
When I saw the news breaking about how Cynthia had shared in an interview earlier this week or last week or something like that she has a dream of playing Storm. I immediately thought, what would be great is if there was a Storm miniseries. Kind of like WandaVision, kind of like whatever that other witch one is, and like Loki. Like I would
Agatha.
love to, that. I would love.
You ain't shit. Yeah.
I think that would be an incredible series to put on, and it doesn't have to be Storm in the later years. It would be great for it to be Aurora Monroe in the early days when she's like pickpocketing in Egypt and, like just figuring out her powers and, getting involved
It's got to be like the Penguin style. Like it's got to be like origin darker, not just like cheesy.
Not anchored
because I
in
feel like they've always made her too cheesy at
because I feel like where it's the struggle is that there is so much. It's just like with Wonder Woman. There was so much anxiety in the ecosystem about getting the Wonder Woman character right. And I think that whatever her name is did
Gal Gadot.
She did a good job in the first movie. The second movie, it wasn't her. It was a script. It was horrible.
It was a script,
But I think what would be fantastic is truly like an origin story series before the lore, because then you have a lot more license around character and mannerisms and growing into the person that she's going to become versus trying to capture what everybody loves about this character already. Because there's a lot of stuff that happened in her earlier days, from becoming an orphan to, you know, her claustrophobia to, you know, becoming a street thief, and then getting involved with the Moors, what do they call it? The Morlocks. The Morlocks.
The Morlocks.
The Morlocks, which was like a
underground, you know,
mutants.
ugly mutant,
ugly mutants. You know, like what you would think about, like people that get like thrown, you know, that green stuff on them and it turns them into growing other arms and all that kind of shit. Like that kind of mutants, not like mutants. Oh, I got just special.
The
powers
non-passable mutants.
Non-passable. That one. Oh, thank you. See, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be powerful, and I would love to see something like that.
But
universe, make that happen.
Honestly, I would love to see that happen. My issue is that when I think about the bigger picture of what Marvel is doing, though, they have the whole Jonathan Majors thing really kind of fucked up their whole kind of plan. And we were getting those things. That's why we had some of those backstories. That's why we got some of those Disney Plus shows like Moon Knight and stuff like that, because they were going to add that into and bring them into things. So I think they're deviating from doing a lot of Disney
Black
Plus shows, but not just Black, because we still got we still have Ironheart that's coming out next month. Okay,
that's true.
So they're not deviating from Black ones, and we also got Blade that's just they've been stopping and going, and they just reset right. So I think their new format that they're going to do is they're going to start trying to introduce crossovers in movies. I don't think we're going to be getting any more backstory stuff, which is unfortunate, because I'm with you. I would love to have that, but because the X-Men is so large on its own, it is so hard to figure out who. That's why they did Wolverine with Deadpool. Right? Yeah. So, and that's why I think, you know, the word is that they're going to try to do Storm with Black Panther 3. So they're going to try to introduce some of these X-Men characters through some of the other movies. Like, it's predicted that some X-Men might be introduced even during Fantastic Four.
Right.
So
I'm sure they will. Yeah.
Yep. So I think that's how they're going to go about bringing the X-Men, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, cool. At some point they're going to have their own group when they get to Doomsday, which is where they're going to have that multiverse with Robert Downey Jr.
I feel like
as the villain. But
I feel like if we had a little mini series as part of like her origin story, that's not so tied to canon in a sense, but it's anchored in it, but there's not as much expectation. That I think would quell a lot of the hunger that a lot of us, you know, comic book heads want to see that character portrayed in X-Men, because there are so many X-Men. There are so many classes of X-Men. And, you know, not all of them contain Storm.
But there's the core 7. There's the core 7, though.
Absolutely.
There's the core 7 that we saw in X-Men 97 that are part of the intros. Yeah. I think those would be the only ones that they would actually give a damn to do any type of backstory to. Since those are the top tier ones, and that's why for the longest time X-Men stood on its own.
Make some money off of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And that's the ones the masses at least know to make it. You know, the ROI of spending all this money and things like that. But I mean, we'll see. But I feel like they haven't done outside the cartoons, have not done Storm justice yet, and this is. It's going to be interesting how they go about this and who they choose. And hopefully we gave you a few other options. We acted like they listening to us.
You never know.
You better.
Hey, Bo. I hope Bo is.
Hey. Anyway, let me shut up. But I guess I didn't say who I would say. Out of these 4, I lean probably more towards Janelle and Cynthia. Because there's got to be... Even though I like Kiki, I think Kiki's an amazing actress, and so is Dominique. I feel like Kiki, in our head, we still think of her. We still think of Kiki as more silly, and it's hard to kind of get that out of your head, even though she's done roles where she's not that. I still feel like there needs to be at least initially perception-wise, some grounding that you need with that Storm character that Cynthia will provide. But then Janelle kind of has maybe that skirtability that you were talking about, Jarrell. At least out of these four. If we could almost like put Cynthia and Janelle together.
Have we ever seen her like fight or be in something that's like really
not like this
intense?
But you know what? I could see her doing it though, because she used to.
She would eat it.
Is like.
She was eat it, and didn't she do like True Jackson as a kid? Like she was like that.
True Jackson VP.
Yeah, but no, that was more of a fashion thing. That wasn't action.
Yeah, she went fighting in Aquila and the Bee.
No.
She was fighting for her life, spilling them words.
But did she? What was?
She got beat up by Medea. So
I mean, we seen her run in stripper heels. Because what was that movie that she did with J-Lo?
Yeah, with J-Lo.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it would be a good departure for her for sure.
Yeah.
But I think there's some other folks' names that we name.
Yeah, I just don't want them to go with someone who has a bigger name in the community just because they want to bring more people in. I hope they understand that the character Storm is enough to bring people in. You can pick. I would even settle for a brand new. I would settle for this being a breakout role for somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, someone who
100%.
has maybe been like in the backs of something, but never like front and center in the camera. I would be totally okay if they were like, hey, but you're the right person.
New York.
I would be okay with that.
New York.
No, and we're going to end this conversation on that then. We done with that. No,
she really tried it.
really, really tried it.
The HBI.
Yes, put her back in the back.
HBIC of A. The HBIC of A of Africa.
Baby. And we'll close here, and I know we've kind of been beating this to a horse. Are you guys excited for like the new Captain America and Fantastic Four? And even outside of Marvel, DC, the new Superman. We haven't even talked about that, like the Superman trailer that dropped over the break too. Are you excited with the upcoming movies that are coming? Or you're like, eh.
I stopped watching a lot of the superhero movies because they've just been trash. They've just been CGI, multiverse, like non-storytelling, like just cash grabs. And I'm all for, like senseless violence and whatnot, but don't waste my damn time. And and for the last probably 5 movies that I saw previews of, and I saw the reviews afterwards or whatever. But now I think that they realize that people ain't buying that shit. Like they was eating up the first couple of things. So my hope is that they start to rejudge some of these scripts so that they are much more meatier.
I mean, we getting Red Hulk. And I'm excited to see Red Hulk and the new Captain America movie as well too. And I'm finally see a Captain America that looks like us. Okay,
I'm gonna go see it
as well.
Solely
so that's why I'm going to go see it. The new Superman movie, Superman is my hero. Like of DC, Superman is my ghost. I mean, I'm named after his father, Jor-El. So I'm a huge Superman fan. But I am.
Bitch, next time she goes, we're gonna be talking about hairstyles of the old days. She goes, oh, and by the way, I was named after that hairstyle called Jor-El curl.
No,
but it was shortened to Jerry. It was shortened to Jerry, but it's really Jor-El.
No, because my dad is a big Superman fan, and my uncle name is Terrell. So Jor-El and Terrell was the best kind of like mix between my parents' 2 favorite people. But anyways, what DC fumbled, like Duane was saying, with like Wonder Woman 2. You had a great showing with the first one. And I don't know how they go from that first one to the second one, and the way they did with Justice League. Even the Flash wasn't all that either. They really just fumbled the ball. Now the preview, I will say this, looks good. And it looks like they're following the formula more of like Shazam and Black
Preview
Adam, which were
Captain America?
good movies. No, I'm talking about for
Superman.
DC, for Superman.
For Superman, okay.
So,
gotcha.
So they followed the formula of Shazam and Dark Adam, which were good movies. Like, they had a good story. There were, Easter eggs on Easter eggs on Easter eggs. What I hope, however, is that I'm more worried about what they're going to do with the other stuff. Like, I think they're going to, I think, because Superman
is Superman.
It's Superman. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not
even if
hard
it's a terrible
to mess
movie,
up.
we're going to go see it.
Right, exactly. I'm curious what they're going to do with the other stuff, because we already got Batman with Robert Pattinson, right? Yeah. So we got a Batman, we got our Superman. Are they going to stick with the formula and give us a new Wonder Woman? Or are they going to give us the Green Lantern like they've been hinting at as well, too? I would like for them to see other Justice League members before I see another Batman or before I see another, Wonder Woman
or Spider-Man
movie.
Well, Spider-Man's now finally back in. That's complicated on that one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, damn. Yeah.
It's like it's over there, but it ain't all the way over there.
But it is over there.
It's like that's the behind the scene business shit fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. So yeah, I know we don't talk about too much, but I just know these two are
I like that
way
nerd
more than
moment.
I.
That made me so happy.
Yeah.
That nerd moment made me so happy.
Yeah, the comic book moment there. So we'll see. But yeah, hopefully Marvel gets back on the right track, because you're right, them last few weren't good at all. And now I feel like they just have so many loose ends out there too, that they put in those that I'm like, they ain't going to never wrap them up, because they knew it was garbage. So not only do we got loose ends that ain't never going to get tied up,
like we got a whole as God sticking out the part of the planet.
Yeah.
We ain't seen not a near scene of this head and fingers sticking out of the pot. We
got a random Harry Styles moment that we ain't never going. So it's like all these loose ends. Like, we don't forgot completely about Eternals. They said, we ain't going back to Eternals. So it's just like so many loose ends over the last, call it 5 years.
They're going to start the new movie.
That they're just going to try to reroute and probably kill them all off in Doomsday. Then wrap it up in a bow like that.
They're going to have somebody wake up and it's going to be a dream sequence. These last couple of movies are all going to be a dream sequence. So that's how they're going to end that.
Not like Newhart.
That's how they're going to do that. And then it's going to start the whole thing. It's going to be Bruce Banner waking up from being the Hulk. Like, I had this crazy dream.
I'm gonna be mad.
I'm gonna flip the table. Look,
baby.
I'm fighting.
Baby,
I'm fighting.
I'm fighting too.
Yeah,
fuck all y'all hoes. Y'all got lazy. But anyway, community. I know you probably like, wait, y'all ain't talked about Drag Race. That's already out there. So again, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, the bell button to be notified for additional content that we're putting out here, you missed it. So please take a moment right now. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button. And if you're hearing this on the audio, run over there and subscribe if you haven't already. So you missed the Drag Race, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the Drag Race content separately, so you get it a little sooner, so we're not like a week and a half behind every time. So, but anything else on your hearts and minds tonight?
No. Love y'all. Have a good week.
Oh, there we go. Wash your hands, your legs, and your ass. See you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, community. A lot of you have asked how you can support Minortea Report outside of the sharing and downloading and subscribing and leaving reviews. But you can also buy merch. Come on, baby.
I know that's right. And we have a whole lot of options, from clothing to pillows to tumblers and bags. And we continue to update all of our stuff with new styles, new colors, and new products. Jarrell, where can they get all that stuff at?
Well, they can get all that and then some at MinoriteaReport.com. They can find all the goodies, find out additional information about your aunties. And we also want to make sure that you share and tag us when you do buy merch, all right? So let us know if it's a hoodie, it's a tee, a long shirt, a towel, because we know you need those. But let us know.
Absolutely. And remember to wash your hands, your legs, and your ass.